opposition from both sides of the aisle now to the president's pick for a key labor position. Meet Craig Becker. He's a strong union advocate, and he is President Obama's nominee for the National Labor Relations Board. This is called the NLRB, and it oversees some critical union matters. Critics of this guy call him radical, and his nomination failed last month in the Senate. But now we are hearing President Obama could still install him as a recess appointment next week while Congress is on spring break, and whoa, has that gotten some people upset. Joining us now, Marianne Marsh. She's a Democratic strategist and former advisor to Senator John Kerry, and Justin Sayfie, a Republican strategist who was spokesman for former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Okay, so this guy, Craig Becker, all 41 Republicans wrote a letter to President Obama pleading with him not to appoint this guy to the 5-member NLRB. And even some Democrats now are objecting to him. Marianne, do you see this as a big deal?
No, you know what, Megan? The Constitution permits it. Every president does it. And the fact is the party out of power always hates it. So Barack Obama is going to probably make a recess appointment like George Bush did 179 times, Bill Clinton did 131 times, and to the same board Ronald Reagan made an appointment. The political cross-currents here are all the Republicans oppose it, and only a couple of Democrats oppose it, like a Blanche Lincoln, who's in a state where labor isn't the most popular thing, and she's in a very tough fight. And I understand that. And I think when you look at the politics, you get it.
I'll get to you, Justin. Just let her finish her thought.
Yeah, my last thought on this is, when you look at the leadership of the unions are instrumental to Democrats and Obama getting elected.
They sure are.
In the Scott Brown race, 50% of union households voted for Scott Brown. And the irony is his first vote in the United States Senate was against Craig Becker. So the political cross-currents cut both ways.
And Justin, she mentions the money. Labor unions spent $450 million to help elect Democrats to the White House and Congress in 2008. Is this payback?
Absolutely, it's payback. This appointment, if President Obama were to do a recess appointment after all the bruising battles, the partisan battles we've seen in Congress in the last few weeks over health care reform, to do a recess appointment would fly in the face of his desire to do bipartisanship. It doesn't make any sense other than from a political payback perspective to the labor unions and the special interests that pumped hundreds of millions of dollars to help the Democrats control Congress and to get Barack Obama in the White House.
Justin, tell us why Becker is so controversial.
Well, he's controversial because the National Labor Relations Board is supposed to decide disputes between employers and employees. And he has been a scholar who's written quite extensively on labor issues. And one of the things that he believes, he stated before in his writings, is that employers should have no role in union organizing elections at all. We all know about the card check bill that was proposed earlier this year and that was discussed, where there would be no more secret ballots in union organizing elections. His previous views would state that the employers wouldn't be allowed to even communicate or participate and have any role in those elections at all. It's very anti-democratic and anti-free speech.
It's true that presidents have used recess appointments, but this guy is extremely controversial. He's a strong advocate for the SEIU, the nation's largest union. He was also a top lawyer for the AFL-CIO. And, there's a real question about whether he would be in the pocket of unions were he to ascend to the NLRB, which is supposed to be this independent body overseeing labor disputes. Do you really think this guy could be impartial if he gets this recess appointment?
No.
Well, I think a lot of people, Megan, frankly, would question whether the NLRB has ever been truly impartial. It's always dependent upon the president in the White House and their appointments. Ronald Reagan appointed a very conservative businessman. You go through all of them. Bush appointed a lot of very controversial judges and ambassadors. So it's always from the side of the street you're standing on. And in this case, it's President Obama's prerogative. And he's going to, obviously, SEIU and a lot of those labor unions were key to him getting elected, but they're especially important in 2010 in terms of re-electing as many Democrats to Congress as possible. And I think the real question going into 2010 is not that labor's going to support Democrats with their money and their organization, but will the membership follow the leadership? And that's the split you saw in Massachusetts, and I think that's the most interesting thing. But there's no question this appointment's going to go through, and Obama will do it.
It's already been rejected. The thing about appointments to the NLRB is right. They normally have to be approved. The Senate has to approve them. This guy's been rejected repeatedly, and now he's going to come in thanks to a recess appointment. And the labor secretary told the AFL-CIO, Justin, in a speech on March 3rd, quote, that the AFL-CIO, which is the largest union organization, quote, will be very pleased by what Obama is planning. Is this just the consequence of an election, Justin? President Obama won. He gets to make the recess appointment.
Yeah, well, obviously his labor secretary telegraphed that, but you know what? It's not about the appointment. It's about the fact that both he and Vice President Biden are former senators, and yet this recess appointment, he's going to disrespect the Senate, not respect the constitutional role that the Senate has in confirming these types of appointments.
So let me ask you, Justin, let me interrupt you and ask you this point. The AFL-CIO, this board the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, that he's going to get this recess appointment to, reportedly, it's supposed to have 5 members. Right now, it only has 2. And there's a real controversy about whether it should have, 2, are those opinions worth anything? So they need another appointment on there. President Obama is saying, I got to get somebody on there. I'm going to put my guy on.
Absolutely. So why doesn't he do what 41 senators sent him in a letter? There's a Democratic nominee and there's also a Republican nominee. The Republican senator sent a letter to President Obama saying, we will confirm those 2 if you decide to withdraw the Becker appointment, and then you can have another Republican, another Democrat, and then we'll have someone else other than Mr. Becker, who's obviously outside the mainstream on these labor issues.
Why isn't that fair, Marianne? And then I got to go.
It normally would be fair, Megyn, but I think after what we've seen over the last few months, it takes 2 to tango. And I think the Democrats would argue the Republicans haven't been willing to go to the dance. So on this one, Obama's going to put his guy on the board. Period. End of sentence. Every president does it. Obama's going to do it.
Well, it looks like it's going to happen, at least according to the Labor Secretary. If she says they're going to be very pleased. Hint, hint. We picked up on it. We understand what she means, and we'll wait to see whether it happens. Marianne, Justin, thanks so much for coming on with your thoughts on it.